Retail is under significant amount of pressure. How do you see the current landscape?
What we're seeing, Jarek, is really three key areas for retailers around innovation. First one is really connecting the whole life cycle from the mobile experience, online experience, through to the people in stores, to the workforce, supply chain, right through to the customers, and simplifying that journey. Secondly, sustainability. What we're seeing is a third of all food doesn't actually get to the customer. So a lot of retailers are focusing on removing that waste. And then the final piece is the environmental innovation. A big cost for retail stores is the energy they consume. So finding new innovations to be able to reduce the energy consumption for stores.
What's your favorite example of innovation in retail?
I think my favorite at the moment is around preventing shoplifting. This is a huge problem for retail organizations globally. There's a startup in Japan that is actually looking at using cameras and learning how people move around store to prevent people from shoplifting. So what they're actually detecting through AI and machine learning is actually when someone potentially is going to shoplift by their facial expressions, the way that they're walking. So what they can do is, rather than causing a fuss in store, they can just send someone down to that aisle to actually prevent the shoplift happening in the first place. And it really does turn back into this minority report of potentially using technology to predict the future.
It's very interesting. The solution that you are talking about is probably generating quite a lot of data. So from a business perspective, we start with data, we move into information, and then create wisdom out of that. How is this impacting traditional IT?
This is having a massive impact to traditional IT on how they support that and the life cycle. If I look back when I started first in IT, storing log files was a huge problem of storage, but now this data is the new oil, and getting insights from that data is really being able to save costs but also drive innovation. But the challenges we're seeing is that organizations, they put more technology and more sensors to collect data. There's the other side of that is the security. One, identifying customer data, but also securing the transit of that data. If we look at one example from retail, Target, for example, what the problem they had is they had a large data breach, and the hackers actually got in through a connected HVAC system. So they actually hacked onto the network and stole the data. So for organizations that have to innovate or die and push these as fast, as quick as they can, they have to balance that with the requirements around security and the lifecycle management.
Now for retailers, it is innovation as a business as usual. How VMware can help them?
What we're hearing from our customers is they really need to have a platform to be able to run their applications. And that consistent platform, not just in the data center, but also extending now to the edge and into retail stores. The ability to unpick applications, to be able to move those around across platforms, is super critical for them to be able to leverage this innovation at speed. But also to be having this underpinning security built into that, to be able to offer that infrastructure plane where they can then drive their business on top of that.
So what are the most important takeaways from our discussion today?
I think the main takeaways are having consistent infrastructure and managing the life cycle of that infrastructure from the data center all the way to the retail store. Ubiquitous security is critical to be able to secure customer data. And then finally, creating this culture for organizations to innovate and learn.